I'm Suzanne with Luna Yoga. This practice is a gentle, slow flow practice. The practice will be seated or lying down. This practice is brought to you from the beautiful Playa del Carmen, Mexico. I hope you enjoy the backdrop of the ocean. Please join me in a comfortable seated position. You can have your legs crossed. You can sit with your shins and knees together in Vajrasana, thunderbolt pose. Or you can sit a block in between your legs and rest your hips on a block, if that feels nice. Or you can even sit upon a pillow or a bolster to keep your hips higher than your knees. Find whatever tall, comfortable seat you'd like. And begin to become aware of your breath. So you can close down your eyes all the way or 3/4 of the way. And just notice where in your body you feel your breath. Without altering your breath in any way, just notice it. What is the texture of your breath? Is it smooth? Is it a little rough? Is your inhale deep, shallow? Which is longer, your inhale or your exhale? Begin to deepen your breath. On your next inhale, send your breath to your low belly. Feel your belly expand. Expand your inhale into your low ribs, your upper chest, to the top of your lungs, under your collarbones. And when you get to the top of your inhale, exhale, let it all go. Again, inhale deeply. Feel your low belly expand, your ribs. Inhale to the top of your lungs and exhale. One more. Inhale into your belly, into your ribs, into your upper chest, and exhale. Gently bring your left hand off to the side and lift your right hand and arm up overhead. Bend your left elbow and take a side bend. Gaze upward, keep spiraling your ribs upward. If you'd like a deeper bend, you can walk your left fingertips further out to the side. Keep your right sits bone rooted into the mat. Inhale, float back up to a tall neutral spine. Place your right hand off to the side. Lift your left arm up and overhead and bend your right elbow for a side bend. Keep your left sit bone rooted into the mat and start to spiral your rib cage up toward the sky. Again, you can walk your right fingertips out a little bit further if your body is inviting you to have a deeper side bend. As long as you can keep your sits bone rooted into the mat on both sides, each sits bone, that's okay. Come back to a seated position with a tall spine. Bring your hands to your knees and begin to take some circles with your torso. To the left, down to the center, over to the right. And when you get back, pull your tummy in, curl through your spine. Spiral over to the left. When you get to the front, arch your back. Gaze upward, move to the right. When you get to the back, gaze toward your belly. You can make these circles as large or as small as you would like. You can take it slow as you would like. Just beginning to warm up your body. On your next inhale, come back to a seated position. Switch the crossing of your legs. And we'll go to the opposite side. So go to the right, arch your back at the front, over to the left, curl your spine, gaze toward your belly at the back, and go back over to the right. Again, make these circles your own. If there's any additional movements you would like to take here, please feel free to do so. You can bring your hands to the mat as you take your circles, whatever feels appropriate for you. Make one more circle and then come to a seated position. Come onto your hands and your knees for tabletop pose. Stack your wrists below your shoulders and your knees under your hips. Tuck your toes under and lift your hips up and back for a downward facing dog. Keep spiraling your elbow, the eye of your elbow forward, energetically twisting through your hands as if you're opening a jar. Bend your left knee, and straighten out through your right leg. Bend your right knee, straighten out through your left leg. You can even bring a bit more of dynamic movement, stretching through your outer hip a bit more. Gaze through your thighs. And on an inhale, look toward the front of the mat, step toward the front of the mat. Take as many steps as you need to get there. And when you arrive to the top of your mat, hold on to opposite elbows and let your head hang heavy. You can shake your head yes or no, feeling the lengthening through the back of your neck, through your hamstrings. Inhale, bring your fingertips to your shins, to the top of blocks, or to the mat for Ardha Uttanasana halfway lift. Keep your quads toned, stretching through your hamstrings, lengthening through your spine. Exhale, hinge at your hips, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, Uttanasana, forward fold. Step back into plank. Lower your knees to the mat and gently lower all the way down to the mat. When you get to the bottom of the mat, untuck your toes, lengthen your legs out long behind you. Place your fingertips alongside your ribs and rise up for baby cobra, Bhujangasana. Keep your pubic bone rooted into the mat to protect your low back. And gently lower back down. One more inhale, lift your chest and shoulders up and back for baby cobra. Exhale, lower back down. Tuck your toes, shift back into tabletop pose, and bring your left hand to the outside, to the back of your head, with your elbow pointing out. Inhale, lift your left elbow toward the sky. Exhale, begin to fold your left elbow toward your right arm. Inhale, lift your left elbow, gaze up. Exhale, curl your left elbow toward your right arm. This time, inhale, reach your arm long overhead. Exhale, thread your left arm under your right. And come to rest on the side of your face, on your left shoulder and your left cheek. With your left palm facing up. Pull your right hips back in line if your right hip wanted to sneak out to the side. Pull it back in line. And you can press gently with your right hand away from your body to deepen the stretch. Option to crawl your right fingertips out long in front of you to lengthen through the side body. On an inhale, bring your hands back to stack under your shoulders, and we'll go to the other side. Bring your right hand behind your head. Open up your right elbow. On an inhale, exhale, cross your right elbow toward your left. Inhale, lift your right elbow, twist open. Exhale, pull your right elbow across your body. This time, inhale, reach your hand up long, arm long. Exhale, thread your right hand under your left arm and come to rest on your right side of your face. Pull your left hip in toward the body. If it fell out to the side, pull it in. An option to crawl your left fingertips forward if you want a deeper stretch along your side body. Check in with your breath. Notice if you feel any tension or gripping anywhere. If you do, send your inhale with intention to that location. And on an exhale, release both your breath and the tension. On your next inhale, place your hands under your shoulders. Sit back onto your heels. Place your hands beside your knees, pick your hips up, sit them gently over to the side, and swing your legs out long in front of you. From here, bring the soles of your feet to the mat and place your hands gently beside your hips. Lean back just slightly and windshield wiper your legs and knees to the left and over to the right. To the left and over to the right. To the left. This time stay here. Bring your left shin parallel with the short edge of your mat and bring your right thigh directly out from your right hip with your right shin perpendicular to your right thigh. Setting up for deer pose, you can stay right here just like this, or you can begin to walk your fingertips forward if you'd like to stretch more through your outer left hip. If you feel any discomfort in your knee, you're welcome to take figure 4 pose on your back, like this, to open through your left hip in the same way. If you'd like to deepen the stretch through your left hip, from deer pose, you can straighten your right leg out behind you for half pigeon pose. In half pigeon pose, you can walk your fingertips forward to bring your forearms to the mat. You can place a block or a pillow underneath your forehead to rest your forehead, or you can come to rest on the palms of your hands. Take some deep breaths here and settle into your pigeon, thread the needle, or deer pose, whichever variation you've chosen. And at any time you can choose a different variation. On your next inhale, bring your hands below your shoulders, shift your weight onto your right hip, and shift back to a seated position with both soles of your feet on the mat and your knees bent. Windshield wiper your knees to the left, to the right, to the left, to the right. When you get to the right, stay here. Bring your right shin parallel with the short edge of your mat and bring your left thigh directly out from your left hip with your left shin at a perpendicular right angle to your femur. Turn your torso toward your front bent shin, your front leg, and you can hinge forward or you can stay where you are for deer pose. You can lie back for figure 4 pose on this side, or you can choose half pigeon pose on this side. If you feel discomfort in your knee but still want to stay in cool and pigeon, you can just bring your right heel closer to your left hip at less of a parallel angle to your short edge of your mat. That can help. And again, you can rest your forehead on a block, on a pillow, or on your palms, backs of your hand. On an inhale, bring your hands under your shoulders. Shift your weight onto your right hip. Come back to a seated position with your soles of your feet on the mat, your knees pointing up. And gently lower down onto your back. Line up your heels with about the tip of your middle fingers. Your middle finger should just about graze your heels of your feet. Press your low back firmly into the mat. Grab onto the outer edges of your mat and press down into your feet, keeping tone to your low belly. Lift your hips up off the floor on an inhale. Keep pressing your feet down into the mat. Once you're here, you can walk one shoulder and then the next under your back. And clasp your hands under your back for a bridge pose. Keep pulling your chin and sternum together. And gently lower your hips down. We'll do one more bridge pose. You can hold on to the sides of your mat or clasp your hands under your back. On an inhale, press your feet down into the mat, float your hips upward, pull your sternum to your chin. Choose the arm variation that you'd like, and then float under your body. Gently lower your hips back down. Pull your knees into your chest. Give your knees a hug. Press your low back into the mat. Bend your knees, lift your feet upward, and gently hold on to the outside edge of your feet for happy baby pose. Bend your knees toward your armpits. You can rock side to side in happy baby if you like. You can stay still. Bring your knees into your chest. Gently hold on behind your knees and find a rocking motion forward and backward along the length of your spine. Take a few rocks forward and backward before you find enough momentum to come up to a seated position. Once you're here, swing your feet behind you, coming into tabletop pose. Straighten your right foot out behind you and press through the heel of your right foot to stretch your calf muscle. Bring your right knee back under your right hip. Stretch your left leg out long behind you on the ball of your foot and press through the heel of your left foot to stretch your left calf. Bring your left knee back under your left hip and step back into plank pose. And lower slowly down to the mat with knees lifted or lowered. Once you're here, point your toes out long behind you. Bring your arms to a T, straightening your arms out from your shoulders. Rest on the left cheek and lift your left leg up. Bend your left knee. Press your left hand into the mat just enough to twist and place your left foot behind your right. So your left hip will come up off the mat. From here, gaze toward your left fingertips. Press your right shoulder down into the mat. This opens through your chest and is a spinal twist. Inhale, come back to your belly, straighten your left leg out behind you. Straighten your left arm out. Bend your right arm closer in toward your ribs. Rest on your left cheek. Lift your right leg up and lift your right hip up enough to bring your right foot behind your left leg. You can press into the mat a little bit with your right hand, gaze upward, or you can keep looking at your right hand. Inhale, lift your left leg up, bring it back down beside your right. And bring your forearms to the mat, stacking your elbows under your shoulders for Sphinx pose. Press your pubic bone strongly down into the mat to protect your low back. If you don't feel any compression in your low back and you'd like a deeper back bend, you can lift up your elbows for seal pose. Sink your shoulders down away from your ears. Keep pressing your pubic bone into the mat. Gently lower all the way down to the mat. Rest your cheek on your back of your hands. Place your hands under your shoulders, tuck your toes, and come to tabletop pose. Crawl your knees forward. Sit on your heels. Press your fingertips in the mat, pick your hips up, lift them over to one side, and swing your legs out long in front of you. You can place the soles of your feet on the mat, scoot your hips forward, and come to lie down on your back. If there's any pose you would like to take to make your practice feel complete, you can do that now. Otherwise, I'll guide you into Shavasana for your final resting pose. Bring your legs out long. Let your feet flop open. You can let your hands rest alongside your body with palms facing up for a more receptive Shavasana, or palms facing down for a more grounding Shavasana. Choose whichever option you'd like. And close down your eyes. Allow yourself to feel what it's like to be completely supported by all the points of your body that are in contact with the ground. Feel the earth pressing up against your body and your body sinking down against the earth. Bring your attention to your breath. And as you inhale, you can repeat in your mind, inhale. And as you exhale, you can repeat in your mind, exhale. This helps keep you focused. If thoughts arise, you can acknowledge them and then let them pass without grabbing onto them, attaching a story, or following them down any rabbit hole. Just bring your awareness back to your breath. And on your inhale, say in your mind, inhale. And on your exhale, say in your mind, exhale. Slowly deepen your breath. Bring your awareness back to your surroundings. Bring some movement into your fingers, your toes, your wrists, and your ankles. You can stretch your arms long overhead if you'd like. Slowly bend your knees, bring your soles of your feet to the mat. Shift over onto your right side in a fetal position. And take a few breaths here, just a few moments. Press your right shoulder into your mat, your left hand into the mat to lift yourself up to a seated position. You can cross your legs or sit any way you like. And we'll close our practice with 3 Oms. I invite you to sit with a tall spine. Inhale. And on your exhale, I invite you to repeat Om. Inhale. Om. Bring your hands to heart center. If there's any word that you would like to end your practice with today, I invite you to say that either in your mind's eye or out loud now. My love and gratitude flows out to you. Thank you so much for practicing with me. Hope to practice with you soon.